Welcome back to another video. It's Monday, March 16th, so happy Monday. We posted our first official YouTube video yesterday, which is doing pretty well, better than some of our other videos 24 hours later. One of the LinkedIn posts that I posted last week had been doing pretty well. After the last weekend, we're at 13,000 impressions, which has been incredible. And I've had a ton of connection requests. So I think that really shows the power of LinkedIn. And earlier this morning, I posted again. This time I took a snippet from last week's intro, and I'll put it up on the screen and in the link for you guys to check out. Pretty happy with that. I also went on the free trial of Stanley, which is like a chatbot for LinkedIn that helps you come up with posts and keeps them written in your own voice, which has been pretty cool. It was helpful. It's just I'm not sure if the price tag justifies it and if it's that much better than using something like Claude, which I'm already paying for. So the plan today is to continue cold calling from last week. I wanted to record just to try to keep myself accountable because I've kind of been pushing it off all morning. It kind of takes a lot. Like, you have to, in the moment, just don't care about rejection, dial up the phone call, have your questions or topics that you want to talk about ready, and then just go. So it kind of takes a lot and you have to be in the right headspace to start doing that every day. But I have my coffee here. I'm all set up to go, and I figured I would record this first one to give you guys kind of a look at how my cold calls have been going. So yeah, let's dial it up. This first person I'm going to be calling, I actually reached out to last Friday, but I think they were out at a lunch or something like that, and they told me to reach back out on Monday. They are a general manager at a fulfillment company that does, I believe, retail and e-com fulfillment as well. I think they've been there for like 35 years, and they're one of the 2 contacts listed on the website. So let's see how this goes. Okay.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling. Thanks, Leon. Please stay on the line. I'm sorry, this person is not available.
Okay, so they didn't answer, and that actually happens a lot. And you kind of build yourself up and you're so excited to go on and to talk about it, and then they don't pick up. But we will update that on our CRM on Notion, and we'll give them another call later today. Okay, that one wasn't very exciting, but I have someone else that I want to try and call. This person actually called last year when I was doing my first round of outreach, and they were incredibly helpful. Hopefully now that we know a little bit more about what we're intending to build, it's a good time to reach out again, and hopefully we can learn a little bit more about their fulfillment. Last time I called, they said that less than half of their clients were DTC, or direct to consumer, or running e-com brands, and most of them were by the pallet. One of my objectives during this call is to learn if that's still the case. I didn't get the name of their WMS in the last call, so that's something I'm also looking for, and some of the motivations and buying decisions when they were selecting their current WMS. So yeah, I have it up. Let's give it a try.
Thank you for calling. I'm sorry, this person is...
Okay. I figured I have to keep on calling until we have a successful one so I can prove that I'm actually calling people. So here we go.
Record your message and press pound or press star to contact the operator.
Okay. Another person unavailable. We're not going to give up. We're going to mark it down, and then we're going to come back to this company. Okay. Not going to get discouraged. This is just how the game goes, and on to the next person.
Thanks for holding. We'll be with you shortly. Can I help you?
Hi there, how are you? My name's Leon. I'm the CEO at Canopy. I'm currently doing some research. Okay, well, that's everything for me today. I appreciate you taking the time. Okay. If anyone's read Crossing the Chasm, you might know of the different types of customers where you have innovators, early adopters, and then the early majority. My mic was not on, but this person that I was talking with off the bat, as soon as I mentioned my research for software and where AI can help improve day-to-day operations, she had gone on a little tangent and a rant about how she hates AI and she hates software. And she says, the more AI is intertwined with things, the worse things get. So that kind of automatically disqualified this company from, I guess, further conversations. And the software product that they currently use is one of the oldest on the market. And this is the one that's the most rigid from our experience and some of the other calls that we've had. And she was saying how she loved it. She's been with them for a long time, but yeah, not all calls are going to be with, tech enthusiasts, innovators, early adopters. And those are the kinds of people that we're really looking to target. Those are the people who might be happy with, signing onto a new product, knowing that the promise of this, revolutionary technology change is coming. And they're willing to take that risk with a startup like us. That was a super interesting call. I wasn't expecting that. And I'm thankful that I was able to talk with that company, and then we can now kind of disqualify them, or we can come back around when we have a more mature product. Happy I got that one on recording, or most of that on recording, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. Okay, good morning. It's 11:26. I have a meeting at 11:30 with a business owner of a 3PL here in the GTA. It's only scheduled for 15 minutes, so we'll see how long it actually goes. Super excited to meet with another person. And this meeting was created through the entire sequence that we've been doing. So reaching out on LinkedIn and then sending a follow-up email, and all of that was gotten from Apollo. So super excited to see it work, and hopefully the call goes well. He seemed very enthusiastic on LinkedIn. He seems more likely to adopt the kind of technology that we're building. I also have an in-person site visit later on this week on Thursday, another prospect that was created through Apollo and worked through our sales cadence. So I'm going to take you guys along for that, and that'll be later on in this video. Okay, we have another call today with a CEO and founder of a 3PL. This one is a little bit different than some of the other calls because they've actually developed their own, what seems to be in-house software. This company uses some non-industry standard wording to describe their software product. So I'm super interested to learn more about it. So my motivation for this call is to learn why they developed their own in-house software, why they didn't like any of the options that are on the market, what went into it, how many people they have hired. And this guy seems very, very nice. He's very active on LinkedIn, and we have some mutual connections. And he's very polite on the LinkedIn messages. So I'm looking forward to it. It's in 5 minutes, and I'll update you guys when it's done. Okay, we just submitted our application to the full-time Velocity program. If you watched some of my videos from last summer, you would know that I was in the summer program that they had. I think it was like 8 weeks of programming, and it was a condensed version of what they offer for full-time teams. I think the full-time program is like 4 months, and then you earn your way into residency full-time into the Velocity office. Last night, I called one of my friends that was in the summer program with me, and they were transitioned into the full-time last fall. And he really recommended that we join the program again, and that we'd benefit a lot from the coaching that they provide. Now that we're at a stage where we're putting our product in front of customers later this month, I feel like I've been making a lot of progress on the sales side, but I think having that continued support, and then also trying to find different strategies to fill up the top of the funnel. If there's any alternative ways to getting our product in front of people, especially when we have a demo in place, I think it'll be really, really helpful. From what I know, it'll be two of the same coaches that I was working with last summer who helped put us on the right track. Everything that I know right now about sales and then building an early stage company is mostly from that program last summer. So if you're a student at Waterloo, I definitely recommend going to some of the Velocity founder events on campus and looking into the Summer Accelerator program. I believe they do batches every 4 months, and I think the next one is coming up later in the summer. Apparently we're gonna hear back within a few weeks and hopefully get an interview with the Velocity coaches who approve these applications, and I can update you guys then. Okay, maybe you can tell us what you've been doing to set us up for the first part of the pilot.
Okay. So we've discussed this, and there's a couple of features that are not make or break, but core features for the warehouse management software that we need to add in. So over here on this whiteboard are just us overlaying all the features and which ones we've decided are actually mandatory to get the base functionality out the door for the pilot. Some of the ones we've been working on are obviously the Shopify integration, like getting the orders in and then actually inputting the inventory into our system. And then after that, for the warehouse associates, we've been doing picking and packing. So that's them going to each box, picking the items for an order and then packing them up and then shipping. So shipping is in like getting the labels and sending the package out the door. Everything else we've decided has been like probably nice to have, but those are the core functions we're looking at right now for the pilot.
Do you want to talk about like when we're starting the pilot, what we need help from the brand to do, what the brand needs to do to get it set up?
Okay, so we've tried to make it as easy as possible for the brand, is in just integrate our Shopify app into their store and we can pull all the data we need, keep track of their inventory, their orders. So hopefully it's not too much of a tax on the brand to just switch over.
What's the long-term plan after the pilot? The pilot is just one brand, two brands, and then what do you want to do after?
I think the coolest part about being able to pilot in a warehouse is that, like I said, we just get the core functionality out the door and then we can go from there. Like if there's a bunch of bugs with the core functionality, it's easy to iterate and fix. We'll just build in new features that will help quality of life for the warehouse associates. And then as those features get built out, we can onboard new brands at the same time once we know the foundation is secure.
All right, it's Thursday now, and later today I have that site visit that I mentioned earlier on in the video. Last time I spoke with the primary contact there, he was in the car. So it wasn't as in-depth of a conversation, and hopefully we can get into all the questions that I've kind of been asking during all of my interviews. I think I have a good idea of what their operation looks like, but I guess it's always good to see in person what different nuances or different changes in the process they might have implemented that might be not standard to the software that they're using. Going to be meeting not with the CEO, but the chief of growth and then the chief information officer. I'll see if I can get some clips for you guys when I'm inside, but depending on how the conversation goes, we'll see if that's entirely appropriate. We have a quick meeting for about 30 minutes and then I have to head out at about 1. It's 50-minute drive and then it's a 30-minute meeting there, but we'll see how it goes and I'll take you guys along and I'll show you as much as I can. Okay, from a lot of these meetings that I've been trying to schedule in person and online, my goal isn't to sell. I always say that I'm in the research stage. We're just trying to learn as much as we can. We want to learn what software solutions are currently available on the market, what the pain points are with each one of those, what they were thinking when they chose these. Are they actively looking for alternatives? Are they actively scheduling demos? How many demos have they done? Things of that nature, and trying to go down that rabbit hole to really understand their problems and how much they care to solve those. Yeah. Visit these guys out of maybe they're watching this video, so if they are, they were incredibly kind. I really appreciate the time that they took to meet with me. We were there for like a little bit more than an hour meeting with the two guys that I mentioned earlier. So the chief growth officer and the chief information officer, both of them were incredibly knowledgeable and they're a really fast growing operation. But like I said, I wasn't really trying to sell them on anything because our product, we're entering our first pilot. Our tentative date right now is April 1st. So we don't really have anything with a fixed and rigid feature set. A product that's just more mature that I can speak a lot about. But I think in this meeting, I was really trying to share our vision for the future. And we've been building so fast and I really feel confident that by the end of this month, we'll be able to pilot here at our partner. But then maybe a few weeks after that, we'll be able to bring on one of their customers, so one of their brands, onto our WMS. And the good thing is like 3PLs in general, some might have a focus on e-com items that are less than £5. Some might work in larger parts or automotive parts, for example. Some of the processes might change in how their warehouse staff and how their management approaches these orders. Some of the different processes when it comes to replenishment, picking and packing, some of the methodologies and best practices will differ from warehouse to warehouse. And that's kind of the importance of doing these visits to see the differences in person. And also another goal of cold calling is to find pilot partners that are coming from different WMS software. Our goal right now is to ideally understand the pain point, but then start to pilot and demo and convert some of the prospects that we've been talking to that come from different WMSs. So we don't want to have one pilot customer and then accidentally build a really custom and niche version of a WMS for that one particular customer. We want to cater as many as possible within this niche of e-com specific fulfillment. There are a couple different WMS providers that target this niche, but all of them kind of dabble in other things as well. So we want to first create the best solution for our small subset of pilot customers. We just want to make sure we can offer the same type of service and the experience, and we can have a predictable onboarding period regardless of which software they're coming from. I'm super thankful for those two individuals that had taken time out of their day to meet with me. Super thankful. I'm super happy for how that conversation went. For you guys, it'll be a couple vlogs away, but we're definitely going to be documenting our journey with this new potential pilot customer, and we can introduce them maybe one day in the videos down the line. That's the update for today, and I'm really excited to work with these guys down the line, and hopefully we can have our product in their warehouse in the next month or two. Okay, and that's it for this week's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like we made a ton of progress this week. I had the most cold calls I've ever had. I've had the most scheduled customer interviews. We had one commitment to a pilot. Earlier today, I was introduced to another e-com brand that would actually like to learn more about our WMS. Next week, we have a demo, some more customer interviews, and the following week, we're actually going to be implementing our product in a pilot for the first time. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. We've been working really hard to get these videos out every single Saturday, so I appreciate you guys for making it all the way to the end of the video. Thank you for being here. Leave a like, leave a comment if you would like to learn anything more about us, our business, what we're doing, or if you have any general questions that we can answer. That's it for this week, and I will see you guys next Saturday.